to pull out with all the money that's been spent and for squeaky bum time is not the way forward. And I think Jake Paul's game.
And boxing is the only sport you can't play at.
My name was mentioned at his press conference and he shit himself, and the fight was just absolutely fucking diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer. He never will.
And I just feel bad for everyone involved in this event.
The highly anticipated boxing match between social media stars.
I'm worried about the fact that Jake Paul is a smaller guy. He's
breaking news in the boxing world. And what a bombshell this is. Jake Paul has stunned fans yet again by withdrawing from his highly anticipated showdown. The reaction has been immediate and unforgiving. Seasoned pros and industry insiders are piling in, branding him unreliable and tearing apart his latest round of excuses. And on social media, it's absolute carnage. Trolls are out in force, pointing to one simple, damning reality. Jake Paul has just walked away from a huge payday. The boxing world is left shaking its head and asking the question once more, can Jake Paul be trusted to show up when it truly matters?
Jake Paul himself might be cashing out because the big purses that he's pulling, fighting these has-beens or ex-fighters, they're dropping slowly but surely. So maybe, just maybe, this might be his last fight, getting in there with Anthony Joshua and getting...
Eddie Hearn didn't hold back. He says Jake Paul's pullout proves how stubborn and clueless he is about the fight game. Boxing isn't something you toy with, and Hearn made it clear Jake has no respect for the sport or the opportunity he's just thrown away.
He's stubborn and he doesn't understand what the business means to us. So, again, this is not something that we do often, but we're not fucking...
Johnny Nelson's reaction says it all. Nobody saw Jake Paul's exit coming. Instead of handling it with class, he sparked more questions than answers. The way he backed out makes it look like fear and a lack of professionalism, leaving fans and insiders doubting his credibility in the boxing world.
We don't know, but that really, really rattled him for him to think of and plan doing something like that.
Yeah, because we see things happen in...
Eddie Hearn makes it painfully clear Jake Paul has misread the entire situation. Pulling out is easy. Stepping up to a real fighter is what takes courage. His withdrawal looks like an attempt to save face rather than take responsibility, and fans can see straight through the lack of bravery on display.
I thought it was a bitch move. I really did.
Have you spoken?
I would never. If you chin someone at a presser, if you do that, it's different. But when
Johnny Nelson says Jake Paul's sudden withdrawal isn't just disappointing; it's a shambles that raises serious questions. He believes an inquiry is needed because behavior like this sets a terrible precedent. The confusion surrounding Jake's exit only reinforces how unreliable he is, and fans are right to demand answers.
Unfortunately, there is going to be, there needs to be an inquiry straight after this, why, what. But that's what I'm hearing. This news is as fresh to me as it is you. I'm quite sure when this goes out, it'll be all over the place.
Chael Sonnen points out that Jake Paul's entire reputation is built on shaky foundations. The absurd situations he keeps stumbling into, like the Feldman call, only expose how inexperienced he truly is. Walking away from Anthony Joshua confirms he fears the real test. It all adds to the belief that Jake is built on hype, not fighting pedigree.
I don't think Anthony Joshua would take Jake Paul lightly any way, shape or form, and it'd be so easy to hit. You're talking about a trained athlete.
Duke McKenzie spells it out in no uncertain terms. The gulf between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul is enormous. Paul isn't operating anywhere near the level of a seasoned professional, and McKenzie's wannabe label fits him perfectly. His withdrawal only exposes the fear behind the bravado. The boxing world can see it plainly. Jake dodged a real test, and whatever credibility he had is slipping fast.
Whatever happened to be exciting.
Does he have the power to knock out Joshua?
Nah, he hasn't got the power to knock out Joshua.
How does that fight end?
Jake Paul going to an ambulance, bro.
Derek Chisora doesn't hold back. Jake Paul simply lacks the power and skill to take on someone like Joshua. Just imagining him being carried out tells you everything. His withdrawal comes as no surprise, and fans can see he's dodging a fight he knows he cannot win. The boxing world is laughing, and the mockery is relentless.
And the size discrepancy, Joshua's never enjoyed the size benefit like he has going into the fight with Jake Paul. And the only thing about it that could be real or look real or sound real is if he goes out and he plans and he threatens and he does the best of his ability to break Jake's face.
Chael Sonnen nails it. The size difference is staggering, and Joshua's overwhelming advantage makes Jake Paul's hesitation obvious. Sonnen's blunt warning that Joshua could break Paul's face highlights just how dangerous this fight would be. The boxing world sees the withdrawal as cowardly, proving Jake is more concerned with avoiding humiliation than facing a real test.
And we're determining whether he's going to be fit to box. If he's not well enough, then obviously he won't fight, but we don't know what the outcome is yet. And in the meantime,
Frank Warren highlights the uncertainty around Jake Paul's status, with even his fitness under question, while Joshua is fully ready. It raises serious doubts about his professionalism and commitment. Fans aren't holding back. Every excuse reinforces that he's avoiding a real challenge. The circus around his withdrawal continues, leaving him looking unreliable and, frankly, scared.
If he's a real, I'm not saying he can't fight, I'm not saying he's rubbish, I'm not saying he's useless, but we will see how good he is. And if I'm right in what I'm saying, he'll quit.
Tom Little cuts to the chase. Jake Paul's true abilities remain a mystery because he consistently avoids real competition. He suggests that if pushed, Paul is likely to quit, and that's exactly what happened. The boxing world sees this as proof of his weakness, and fans have lost all respect. His pattern of pulling out completely undermines any credibility he might have built, leaving everyone questioning if he even has the heart for serious boxing.
This guy is a fucking animal. Like, he has.
Jake Paul's own words reveal the truth. He's intimidated by Anthony Joshua. Calling Joshua an animal while admitting fear exposes his lack of confidence and explains the pullout. The boxing world sees this as yet another example of Jake overhyping himself and failing when faced with a real challenge. Fans are mocking him for fear-mongering while showing weakness. His bravado doesn't match reality, and his reputation is taking a hit as everyone sees he's scared to face a legitimate champion like Joshua.
Kind of fight for AJ, very little risk, extremely little risk, and a big reward. I mean, why would you not take it? But as a fight fan, I thought it was a farce. I mean, Tommy Fury beat Jake Paul. It may not be, it may be a little while back, but still, he hasn't improved that much. And he hasn't been fighting anybody that's posed a problem for him.
Abel Sanchez lays it out clearly. Jake Paul's limitations are obvious. This fight is high reward for Joshua, with almost no risk, which is exactly why Paul is dodging it. Even after losses, he's never faced a real challenge, showing no growth. Fans see him as a risk avoider, relying on hype over skill. His repeated pullouts and weak competition record confirm he's more spectacle than threat, leaving the boxing world shaking its head and laughing at his excuses.
It's never in it. Shockingly terrible. Yeah, shockingly, yeah. Down. Very much down. Can't shake it. Can't shake the...
Tyson Fury sums up the mood perfectly. Jake Paul's recent pullout leaves fans and experts alike unimpressed. Fury highlights just how far Jake is from top-level competition, with a lack of preparation showing at every turn. The world sees his behavior as shocking and embarrassing. Critics agree. Hype cannot mask poor ability or a pattern of running from real challenges. Every pro's comment reinforces the same story. Jake Paul isn't ready for a true boxing test.
I was surprised that Jake took the fight rather than Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is one of the best fighters in the world. He's a solidified champion. But I'm surprised that Jake took the fight and is fighting a guy that's so dangerous like Anthony Joshua. So I got to take my hat off to him You know, because we were saying that, oh, he's fighting this person past their prime, this person's old and this and whatnot, and now he's fighting, you know, AJ.
Devin Haney's reaction captures the disbelief perfectly. Taking on a fighter like Joshua was reckless and showed just how out of his depth Jake Paul really is. Fans see it as another gamble with his career, overestimating his skills. His pullout confirms he knew he wasn't ready, and the boxing world is ridiculing him for even attempting such a mismatch. Shock has turned to laughter and criticism, as everyone realizes his bravado was just a cover for fear and inability to compete with real champions.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Jake Paul has gone from this fight to this fight. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but one is a little bit bigger than the other. So what is going on here? Why does Jake Paul think that this is something he can do and be successful?
Spencer Oliver sums it up perfectly. Jake Paul pulling out has sent the boxing world into shock. Critics are tearing into him for avoiding Anthony Joshua. Everyone remembers Joshua dismantling Francis Ngannou, and Paul's lack of serious opposition shows he's nowhere near that level. His white-collar boxing background and loss to Tommy Fury underline that he's not ready for a real test. Fans are mocking him for skipping a massive payday and dodging a fight that could have proven anything about his credibility.
Help Jake Paul, that's all I can say. We saw that what Anthony Joshua had done to Francis Ngannou. He went out there and iced him in a couple of rounds. A guy coming from a different discipline, well, this kid's coming from another level. You know, white collar boxing in 2018, gone through the mill, and the only boxer really that he's actually boxed, a legitimate boxer, he got beat by, and that was in Tommy Fury. Now
The fallout from Jake Paul pulling out of the Anthony Joshua fight is absolute chaos. Fans and experts are ridiculing him for avoiding what could have been a defining moment. All eyes were on Paul to see if he could step up against a true elite, but his reputation has taken a serious hit. Critics point to his white-collar boxing background and loss to Tommy Fury as proof he isn't ready for someone like Joshua. Turning down a huge payday only adds fuel to the fire, while Joshua's legacy as a top-level fighter shines brighter than ever. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Are you backing Joshua to dominate? Or does Jake still think he can shock the world? Join the debate below.